Good evening, guys. You know why we're here. Everton nil, Manchester United 3. Let's get this show on the road. Well, look, first things first, let's just say howdy to a few people in the chat. Do you want to do this bath time or do you want me to do it?
I'll do it. We got Big T saying everyone, big up everyone, smash that like, yeah, press the like button if you wouldn't mind. Oh, I feel so dirty begging, Mr. B.
Just beg.
I'm not begging. Don't press it. Press the dislike button. Okay. Got Edison, big up the big us up. We've got Ed Mayhem. We've got Rebel. We've got DK Wilson. We've got Zoe. So I think that's everyone who's here. And then I'll start your comments and we'll have a look at them after Mr. B tells us about Garnacho.
Look, we're supposed to start the show with a nice... oh, shit, sorry. Kohunde, boy, I know you was there, but bruv, Garnacho's goals got me wanting to talk all over the place. So, welcome. How you doing, man?
Thank you, man. You good? I'm really happy after that. Really happy, man. It's a very, very good performance.
Right. Where do we start? Do we start? No. We got to start with the lineup, didn't we? What did we think of the starting 11? Were we happy? Were we not happy? Obviously, we knew Højlund was carrying a slight knock. So we knew Martial will be starting, but Mainoo starting. It was hinted from about 11:30 last night that he would be starting. Anything else surprised you? You're happy with? I know bath time. You're happy with one particular player, but talk to me, man.
I mean, like I was worried about putting Mainoo in this match, to be honest, but I would have much preferred him to Amrabat. So like when you sent me the team, I was all right with it. I think it was the best that we could stick out if we assume Varane has made himself unavailable. I was surprised Wan-Bissaka didn't start. I thought he might over Delo, but I think that's the team that I myself would have probably have sent out, with possibly the exception of Mr. Marcus Rashford.
Okay. Who would you have played instead of Marcus?
You could have got a game. Kahinde had have played instead, but mainly Palestri.
Okay, Kohunde, what did you think of the team when you saw it?
There was no real surprises. I thought Mainoo would start if he was fit. I thought he would. So it was kind of to be expected. Everyone that was there, obviously Højlund's not available, so Martial had to come in. I knew he wouldn't drop Rashford, and I knew Garnacho would play. So yeah, there was no real surprises. For a lot of other people, they would have said, "Well, Mainoo's starting," but yeah, no one else in our central midfield has been that dominant really this season to demand a place.
Okay. Obviously, we knew Maguire was going to start. I think he's nailed down that right hand side now. I do believe that Varane probably will be gone in January. Lindelof starting today. I'm going to go with you. Bath time. How did you think
his performance? Yeah.
Yeah.
Do you know what? I was thinking about this on about the 90th minute, where like Lindelof got battered a couple of times by Dominic Calvert-Lewin, Bowen, or whatever OMONDI calls him. But apart from that, I think that Lindelof was all right. Like he did one thing where I actually ran out of the room when he did it, where we were getting pressed really badly. And Lindelof launched a ball from one side of the pitch to the other, and luckily it went straight out of play. But that's a big no-no. You don't play cross-field passes from your penalty box. But I think he was all right. It was just that when he got battered by Calvert-Lewin, it was really noticeable how weak he was. But apart from that, I think he was all right. I'd probably give him a 6.
Oh, we're giving scores as well. Okay.
Uh,
Um, I'm okay. Look, let's. Do you want to go through these comments before we talk about our first goal?
Yes, we've got absolutely loads of them. So we've got Big T saying Garnacho, the best goal in Premier League history. Give him that number 7 shirt now. Man of the match for me was Mainoo. We've got Rebel saying, lads, all I say, I've never been more happy that my score prediction was wrong. Absolutely buzzing. Savage goal from Starboy, but the real conversation has to be on Mainoo. And we got DK Wilson saying, I was worried about this game as United always seem to catch teams on a new manager bounce, or with Everton having gotten points ripped off them. Good on United for coming through with a W. Jeez, it's like being in a train station. Ed Mayhem saying, Big T, trust man, Rebel. Let's talk about that goal-saving clearance, which Lindelof also did one of those. And people are saying that Bruno didn't irritate them today. And here's Zoe saying, we're 6th. 6 points behind top. The season is not over yet. We just need positive words of encouragement. King Dino's popped in to say, evening lads, and what a magical goal. And by the way, Mainoo was mega. Emma K, Mainoo! Ed Mayhem is bigging everyone up. We've got Wildlife Machine saying, Kobe, well played 71 minutes. Rashford doing too much with the ball. And, like, look, there's hundreds of comments about Mainoo, ran the show out there. Mainoo gave our midfield balance. And then Montreal has just popped in to say, Garnacho's goal is even better than Rooney's in terms of technique and execution. It was 100% foot on ball. I thought he shinned it myself.
No, well, you need to go watch it in Ultra HD, mate. It was perfectly clean. Look, let's talk about Garnacho's goal. Obviously, Rashford picked up the ball on the right, played a little ball into Dalot, who played across. And after that, there was all hell broke loose. He hit an overhead kick that I thought was Rooney-esque. Yes, but I actually think it was probably better than Rooney's. I mean, Gary Neville talked through, he's a professional footballer, talking about having to take 3 steps back to adjust his balance. Magnificent goal. Absolutely fantastic. That is what you can't even say you expect from Garnacho, because you don't expect it from any player in your team. But for him to have scored that, I think that put us on that stunned Goodison Park and stunned the Everton players for about 20-25 minutes, to be fair. After that, they probably took care, had control of the rest of the first half. But guys, talk to me about the goal, man.
Go on, Kahinde.
Okay, well, yeah, it's just not a goal that you would think Garnacho would score, is it? You know, he's a player who likes to get the ball at his feet, run at you, direct and all that. You wouldn't associate him with doing that type of technical goal. But I think the cross, because of Dalot's cross, it was like the only thing that he could do at that point. So it was just all instinct, and it just worked, you know. And another day it could have gone in Rose-Ed, but the execution was just perfect. Yeah, that was what was shocked me, because you just wouldn't think Garnacho would score an overhead kick. You didn't think that was in his locker, but he did it. It was amazing.
Yeah, I mean, like, I don't know about you lads, but I mean, I can run a lot, but I'm extremely okay. I'm extremely.
My tea's all over. This thing's all over the place. Sorry, bath time. I've got a fly on my screen. Sorry.
Okay. What was I saying? Yeah, I can't remember what I was saying. Oh yeah, I'm a runner, and I'm not very like gymnastic. I could never do anything like that. Are you guys like Mr. B? I imagine you
No. I'm too worried about how well I'm going to land on the floor. Worried about hurting my elbow. No, not a chance. My brain can't comprehend what actions you would have to do to get into that position, let alone connect with the football. So no, that's not even anything in my arse. No, falling volleys. Yeah. No,
on the sofa, you never bounced a tennis ball and did an overhead kick?
No. Falling volleys, yes. I will, you know, Mark Hughes back in the day, he was the falling volley king. I will take that. But I can't sit here and say I've ever my brain, it can't comprehend what my body has to do for that. So Absolutely no chance, mate. No chance.
I just think you have to have real confidence to attempt it. That's the thing, because there might be times in situation in the games that you think you could do it, but you don't want to embarrass yourself. So you'll try and bring it down or whatever, because it's such a hard technique to do.
Well, it's got to be instinctive, hasn't it?
Yeah.
Like, you don't. I remember Ronaldinho scored an overhead kick where he took it on his chest.
Yes,
And
first, yeah.
and Ronaldinho said he'd been trying to score that goal for about all his life. And that he tried it loads of times. So when the ball's coming over, he thought, oh, I've got a shot at this. Garnacho didn't think anything. He just did it.
Yeah.
And then I couldn't believe his celebration. He acted like it was a training session. Like, just like snapping his fingers. Just, I'm Alejandro Garnacho. It was unbelievable. But shout out to Delo. It's lovely to see service coming from the right hand side finally. I think the last three assists have come from the right hand side in 2 games now. Like, we had McTominay to Højlund, and we had 2 from the right hand side today.
And can I just say, has Marcus been involved? Like, he's played the assist, right?
Are you talking about XG goal chains?
I'm just saying that he's actually been involved in the movement for the goal. And to be fair, now
he was dreadful.
Look. We can't talk about dreadful players on a day where we've won 3-0. All I will say is, it's nice to have a winger going round the outside. I know he hasn't been producing what we would expect, but I like the fact that we've got a winger going. We don't have Anthony coming this side of the pitch. We've got him going round. Even when Palestri plays, Palestri goes on the outside. I prefer that. I like to see that. Unless they're going to come in and smack him all the time, don't bother cutting. I'd rather they went on the outside. So I think a right footer on that side now gives the team balance. Whether it's going to be Marcus, I'll hold up my hand and say no, it's probably not going to be Marcus. But I think for Ten Hag, it's seen that we need to give that little bit more balance. But look, we've spoken about the goal. For the next 25 minutes, for the last 25 minutes and a half, it was all Everton. Do you think there was a problem that the team sat off? Because to be fair, I think the goal stunned everybody. It stunned United, it stunned the stadium, it stunned the Everton players. But they actually came back into the game for the last 25 minutes. Do you think there was something that they did, or do you think it was just a drop-off from United?
I think, because the goal was early, wasn't it? So I think Everton always intended to start with that game plan, press us and, make things physical, make it hard battle. And I wasn't worried. It was just like we just soaked up all their pressure, and then we do what we normally do to them. We hit them on the break, and with the second goal that gave us that. That was in the second half. But I think the first half, I wasn't really that worried. I know we're under a lot of pressure, but we just soaked it up. They don't really have too many dangerous players apart from Calvert-Lewin, but it's just he's the only one that you got to really deal with. So it wasn't really a big concern for me. I knew we were going to go on to win it comfortably.
I was complete opposite, Mr. B. I was absolutely terrified because for the first 10 minutes, I think the occasion actually got a bit to the Everton players, and then Garnacho produces one of the greatest goals scored on these shores. The only one that comes to mind, I think, is better is Paul Scholes' volley against Aston Villa, which I still think is the best.
Is that the corner from Beckham?
Yeah.
No,
that's Brentford or something. No. This is. I'll send you a clip of it later.
Yeah,
it's an incredible goal. But what we had that was quite nice is that Onana, Maguire, and in particular Mainoo were taking the sting out of the game for the first 10 minutes. And then Everton basically said, sod this, and went to a man-to-man press, and we didn't have an outlet. There was no outlet everywhere. They were bigger and stronger than us across the front three. And Onana, for some reason, the outlet appeared to be Garnacho. Every time he booted it to Garnacho, and Young ate him alive. So we were getting pinned further and further back, and I felt that we were under extreme pressure. Like Idrissa Gueye or Decore, it might have been Decore missed a pretty regulation chance. Like in that period, like Calvert-Lewin had a couple of headers that he should have done better with. Like I felt we were all over the place and we had no game plan in order to get out. And I was very disappointed to see Kobe Mainoo go to right back and left back in those build-up stages, because I felt that in the pivot he'd been the one that had helped us get out a lot. So I'm really not sure what happened in that first 30 minutes, but I was extremely concerned from what I was seeing.
Kounde?
Yeah, I touched on it. I wasn't that concerned. I wasn't. If it was another team, maybe, but I just know Everton do this all the time. They have spells in the game where they'll put you under a lot of pressure and all that, and you just have to soak it up and hit them on the counter. The only one who always worries me is Lindelof because of the physicality. He does get bullied quite a bit, but I just felt we had enough to deal with them. We got enough quality. They don't have enough quality, to even finish their attacks.
What did you think to Lindelof today, Kounde? Like, I don't know if he had a
there
good
was
game or what.
one thing that stood out to me is just winning a header where I think it was a corner or something where he headed it away, and it's just not really, because it's not something you associate Lindelof with doing a lot, that sort of thing. And obviously we know he's decent on the ball, more than decent on the ball, but I like him as a player, but he's not outstanding. I would prefer for Varane to be back in the team, to be honest.
I don't think it's happening, to be fair, Kounde.
Yeah, I don't know what's happened with him and Ten Hag, but this is something that's concerning me a little bit. Ten Hag, what he's doing with the players, Sancho, now Varane, and if he's rubbing these players up the wrong way, we don't know Varane he's always been a very good professional. No one's ever said anything to him in the past about his attitude, having a bad attitude. So if Varane's being up the wrong way, then that's the type of things that's starting to concern me.
I'll tell you what, we ain't interested in nothing that concerns you today on Monday, because I'm Kounde, because that's negativity. We won 3-0. It's strictly positive. Strictly positive. Positive. Second half, first half ends, second half begins. Do we want to go through the comments before we get to the second half?
We do. I just also want to shout out McTominay for fouling two players at the same time.
Did you see it?
I've never seen in the Premier League before. That was absolutely world class. That was amazing. It's like the Keystone Cops. So, all right, we'll start with Box. Hello, Box. Rashford had 71 pre-assists this season. I think he's making fun of you here. All right, King Dino said Rashford did okay today. Bath time is being very harsh. I'm going to get a lot harsher on Rashford. I know Mr. B doesn't like negativity, but I saw a really dreadful performance from him today, and I'm really unhappy with lots of stuff he did. How many times did Rashford lose the ball? A lot. Rashford needs to stop thinking. He's better when he works on instinct.
He is, to be fair.
Yeah. I know, I just like the advice to stop thinking. Exactly, Mr. B. We've got no need for negativity. I mean, I can talk about how Bruno was poor. He was again, but I won't. I thought Bruno was really good today.
I thought he was good. As I said, I saw the comment and I thought, okay, everybody has a different opinion of a game, but I actually think this was one of Bruno's better games. I mean, I don't know what he has to do to impress Zoe, to be fair.
I mean, like, if he turned up with the cure for cancer and like solved world peace, Zoe would still say gives the ball away too much. Anana is leading the Golden Glove race. We're going to go back-to-back Golden Gloves. And we've got Bill Baggio, who I haven't seen for quite some time. He's saying, good evening, people. And Big T saying, Rooney's goal immediately after talking to the ref comes to mind, the Newcastle volley. But a volley is technically easier than an overhead kick. And then Scholes scored a tracer bullet versus Middlesbrough once.
I remember that was a posting in. Yeah, that was a
And then like Emma Kay is talking about Ten Hag might have talked to Varane about his age and injuries. Varane might have gotten offended by that. And then there's a couple of comments about Rashford, but we'll leave them till I have my big rant
Yeah,
against him.
yeah, that's absolutely fine. So we've gone with second half has now started. Martial seemed to come alive. I mean, I know Martial's your boy of half time, so I want to give you a little bit to Rax lyrical about your guy today. I mean, he hasn't started. Has he started any games this season? And he definitely hasn't. He played the whole 90 today, didn't he?
Yeah.
He hasn't played the whole 90 in like nearly 4. I'm sure it's nearly 3.5 years or something. So obviously his fitness is back up, and Hoyland's had his complete rest. But half time, talk to me about Martial.
I love Martial. Like, I know he's not a very popular player and he's got a reputation for being lazy when I think he's actually very good. I think his defensive work is actually really, really good. But he was quiet in the first half. He did win a couple of free kicks, which were really useful. But when you're getting like poor distribution from Onana, there's not really much that you can do. I think he also works really well with Bruno because Martial likes dropping into space, and that means that Bruno can charge in as the sort of second support striker or auxiliary striker or whatever it's called. But it's just his touch. Well, I saw him at Fulham and his touch was off, and he miscontrolled like against Copenhagen a lot. But today that touch was back, and it absolutely did Ashley Young for the penalty. He knew exactly what he was doing. He got him. The goal that he scored was beautiful, just a soft glove finish, and then an impudent chip. But I also really liked it when he went to help Onana out with Branthwaite or whatever he's called. Like Branthwaite's all over Martial and Martial all over Onana. And Martial's just laughing at him, telling him to go away and tickling him and things. I really like that. But I mean, today was you can kill the man, Mr. B, but you can't kill the idea. And Ollie Ball was back in full effect today. Like all of those lovely transitions we played and the breaks we tried to go on, Martial, Bruno, Shaw, Rashford combining. It was that electric football that like Solskjaer's United team could just suddenly produce from a load of absolute dross for 80 minutes. And it's no coincidence that Martial was the reason. That's the first time we've seen that football this season, and I think it's because of Martial. I really like Martial, but I think it's I do think his time is coming to an end.
You think so? You really think that Martial was that? Guys, there's 23 of you in the likes. Look, before you do anything else, just hit that like button. We've got the YouTube police as in Solo one here, and he's going to be moaning at us if we don't get over 40. So guys, look, just hit that like button. Sorry to cut you off, bath time. You think Martial was really, really that good today?
Yeah, because I think that right, there are things he can do and there are things that he can't do. Right, he's the only way he can work effectively as an outlet is by winning free kicks, holding the ball, bringing other people into play. I felt that he did that really well. I felt that he kept central. He didn't like run any channels, which Hoyland does quite a lot, and sometimes I think that's to the detriment of the tactical setup. Like there's always someone central when Martial plays, and I think that when he plays, you see the better moments out of Rashford and Bruno. I'm not saying he should start over Hoyland, but I think that if you're looking to get a performance out of Bruno and Rashford, Martial's a better person to have on the pitch than Hoyland.
So Hyundai, you're sitting in silence. Come and talk to me.
Yeah, I like Martial as a player. I think he's really good because, he's another guy. He started out on the wing for us, and when he plays up front, I think he holds the ball up really well. Something Rashford can't do even till this day. That's why Rashford's not effective as a striker as he's his winger. So I think Martial's got wonderful technique. On when he's fit and all that, his touch is good. He's a cold finisher. That finish today was sublime. It was excellent finish. So I like him. I think that we have to keep him because I think we've got the perfect balance now. We've got a young up and coming striker, and then we've got Martial with his experience. And we know that we can't rely on Martial to play every game because of his injury record and things like that. But so we've got Højlund as well. So I think it's a perfect balance between those two, fighting out for a place. And we've got to keep him. We've got to keep him. He's a class act on his day. He's class.
Bath time.
I agree, but I mean the comments are really going off about this.
Yeah, let's hear it. Let's have him. Let's have him. Let's have it.
Well, we start off with Box saying Martial, Goodison Park, things that were always meant to be. I didn't know until today that Everton's bogey player is Martial. And then here's Andrew saying Martial was still excrement today, but I'm biased. I think he's a complete waste of space. And then he says Bruno and Rashford were terrible as well. I'm interested to see what people have got to say about Bruno. Big T is saying Martial is the type of player that can do nothing all game and then come up with a goal. I'll take that for now.
Yeah.
Zoe, love him or hate him, when Anthony Martial is on form, there isn't anyone better in the Premier League. If Martial went on scoring run, I would be so pleased for him. It turns out I'm not Martial's biggest fan. It's Zoe. And then Ed Mayhem is saying, woo, Onana was put under a lot of pressure by poor passes from us today. I think Onana was dreadful on the ball today. And that's where a lot of it came from.
Do you?
Yeah, dreadful. Like, I don't understand why he was continually trying to pick out Garnacho, like the biggest weed.
Do you think that was an instruction? Because even when Rashford plays, funny enough, even when Rashford plays on that side, even Maguire, when he picks up the ball, tends to try and find that side. Do you think that that's an instruction?
Yeah, it's definitely an instruction because the team is the majority of the players compress the left-hand side of the pitch, so that if we lose the ball, we're in a better position to get it back if he kicks it there. But I think that's poor management, and I think that Delot should have gone much further forward, and we should compress the right and tried to win it off that, because Delot, I think, is our best competitor in the air of the players that can get forward. Big T is saying, how much of today was down to the fact Ten Hag was not on the touchline? Judging from what he was wearing, Ten Hag was about to go up a chimney.
Sorry, Waffle, go
on. And then Andrew is saying, people are talking about a bollocks today. Anthony Martial is just a joke.
Wow. He was involved in 2 goals. What did he have to do? These players have to do a job while they're at the club. Yes, he may well get sold in the summer. I wouldn't like to think he's going to get a new contract, but what does he have to do?
No, Ten Hag likes him. Ten Hag's not going to get rid of him.
You think he's going to get a new contract?
Yeah, Ten Hag likes him. Ten Hag does really like him. He's spoken so highly of him, like especially last season. Because he basically said that Martial's the only striker that could do what he wants, demands what he wants.
But he was the only striker we had. Don't you think he was giving him props just to big him up?
If we get rid of Martial, then whoever we bring in is going to block Højlund's path. So that's why I said the balance is perfect, because Martial can't play all the time. Højlund's the up-and-coming guy. So I don't think Ten Hag's going to get rid of him.
I don't think it's Ten Hag's choice anymore. I cannot imagine the Ineos boys coming in.
Keeping hold of him.
And saying, yeah, Martial is the answer. He's just...
squad depth.
Yeah, well, like, look, Box, who knows exactly what he's doing, because I think this is a joke, is saying that Joel Glazer is actually a Martial super fan.
He is.
He is, yeah.
Oh, he did. That's right, because Mourinho.
He is, yeah. He wanted to sell him. He is, yeah.
Oh, wow. And Zoe's now saying he's blocking Andrew for his Martial comments. Lol, joke. But it is basically just Andrew who's kicking off about people enjoying Martial's performance. Like, look at this. What a clown show of a fan base we are.
Listen, we won. I'm going to be honest. Listen, right? I sat down here thinking we were going to lose the game today. I did. I expected us to lose because look, a lot of fans now feel that, a lot of clubs feel that maybe Everton were unjust in the punishment that they got. I don't give a shit. We got fined for financial fair play, and we seem to be the only club that got fined for it. So, if they need to get points deducted, good, get the points deducted. I have no sympathy for Everton, but I could feel that there was a build-up of sympathy. Oh, they want Everton to win. Blah. I am over the moon that we won. I'm over the moon. We done their dance. It's good. Let them go and beat somebody else. But the team that they played at the moment was the team that I support. I don't care if Everton go and win the next 20 games. I'm not bothered.
Can I also just say as well, I thought having Luke Shaw back was a big difference because for the balance of the team, he's very...
It's a left footer.
Exactly. And that's what I'm saying. Whoever's playing left wing, it helps him a lot when Shaw's there. I just think, yeah, for the balance of the team, it's good, really good to have him back because we've been playing Lindelof there, Dalot, and it hasn't been the same.
I didn't think he played particularly well, Shaw, but I'm delighted to see him come through.
To do, it was like we got a clean sheet. He just did the job, So,
Gihinda, we stole that clean sheet. To be honest, I mean, like,
it's still a clean sheet. It's still going to go down as a clean sheet. Everton are not like a terrible side. They'll put you under pressure. We soaked it up.
Yeah, but we didn't. I mean, the bar soaked it up. We got 2 clearances off the line.
Listen, bath time. These are fine. These are the fine margins that make you win a game, and we got all of the fine margins today.
Everything was in our favor today.
Everything was in our favor. I mean, are we gonna? We haven't scored 3. I'm sure we haven't scored 3 goals all season. To win a game, I think we have scored. We scored 3 against Bayern. I'm talking about in the Premier League, and we've kept a clean sheet. So, I think moving forward, is quite
positive
think
that's
for
our
us.
Best team?
No, hell no. I don't think it's the best team. I don't. I'm not even going to sit here and pretend and say to you, I think any team that's got Scott McTominay in it, I don't think is our best team. I'm sorry. I'm going to hold up my hand. Yes, we won, but I will still out Scott McTominay. Look, Mainoo came in today playing as a central midfielder. Yes, the roles might be different and the instructions that McTominay has, but you look what Mainoo did in the game, and I'm just going to show you this. Yeah, look.
Yeah.
This is Mainoo's stats by numbers in the game, yeah? He won all of his tackles, all right? 83% park accuracy. But look what he did in the game. And we all remember the clearance that he had, the goal line clearance that he had as well when Maguire played look, I'm not even going to dig out any players. He made a goal line clearance that helped us in the game. So, these are the things that we want. I mean, I know Bartholomew, you're a bit wary of him coming in to the team, but I look at what he was being played in pre-season all the time. He was being played. So I actually feel that Ten Hag saw something in him that he wanted. He's now waited maybe longer than we as Man United fans have wanted, but he's come back into the game and he was pulled off early. So I'm going to be assuming now he starts the next game.
Yeah, has to.
Which I think only benefits us as a club because Casemiro, I mean, that's what I said in the week. Do you think he could replace Casemiro? And I think I got poo-pooed in the chat, to be fair. But he dropped into the 3. All right, I understand half time you weren't happy with him going left, especially in the first half. He was going left or right to pick up the ball. And I think it maybe stayed a little bit. He stayed a little bit more central in the second half. But at the same time, for a youngster to come out, I mean, I said, I'm not going to come. I'm giving him my man of the match. Although Garnacho scored the goal that he scored, and maybe Garnacho should be getting the man of the match vote. Guys, in the chat, look, hit us with your man of the match vote as well, please. And the reason why. But I feel that I really feel that he was everything that we maybe expected Casemiro to have been for us this season. Yes, I do, because if you look at the positions that he was dropping into, he's got a beautiful feint where he looks like he's going to go the other way, even when he's facing the other way. I noticed it. McTominay picked up the ball, Onana played the ball to him, and he ended up playing the ball back to her. He was so scared to turn or didn't have the ability to look behind him. The ball went back to Onana. In the end, it was a bad pass to Onana, where Onana then had to kick the ball out. But Mainoo, this is the same thing Martinez have. They have a little feint where they drop their shoulder. The player goes up and they turn out. And that's what he has today. There was a lot of calmness about everything that he did today. So I would be giving my man of the match to Kobe Mainoo. But obviously, maybe people in the chat would have something. Maybe you have something different. So what are you feeling?
My man of the match was Delo, actually, but I
Oh,
completely understand why people go for Mainoo, because I've been worried about like the pressure that's going to be put on Mainoo, and today I saw a really good performance from a player that has no right to be that good at that age. He's not completely perfect. He does cross his midfield line too much, which is, I mean, to be honest, you see players stop doing that when they're about 26, so it's not really a big worry. I couldn't agree more with the sort of the talk of the half turn. Like you're completely correct. When McTominay gets the ball, he rarely makes the turn, which is normally the right thing to do. But it would be nice to see a bit more of that. I remember he did it against Arsenal last season, and we nearly scored a goal off it. But Mainoo was absolutely great, and he reminds me, and I mean this in the nicest way possible. He reminds me a lot of Harry Winks in how he plays football, which is a huge compliment
Yeah, Harry
from
Winks.
you.
yeah. Like
So
yes, Kahinde, you Harry Winks, you a
yeah,
Harry
I love
Winkser
him.
as
Love
well.
him. Yeah.
Yeah. And what I mean is he knits play. He's neat on the ball, and he's able to drop into space to receive it. I'm not completely sure his position is going to be a number six. I think he needs someone, a fixed number six next to him that he can sort of move around in order to go and receive the ball, because he's going to get pinched by better teams if he plays like that all the time. But also he reminds me also of Pogba, like the balance when he takes the ball. I mean, obviously Pogba is not clearing off the line, defending the channel the way that Mainoo was. Like defensively, he was alert and on it, and I'm just delighted with him. And I really hope that is the standard now that we see from Mainoo, and
Well,
that's not
I
like
mean, look,
Makeda.
if you look at pre-season, we laugh. Obviously, we as Man United fans, he shut down Declan Rice in the pre-season game. Pre-season is pre-season. I understand that, but the way that he played in that game and the way that Ten Hag kept on playing him, I think Ten Hag saw something that maybe we hadn't seen in him. So I mean, the fact that he's coming, he played at England under 21. So I think he's played 4 games sort of away from the first team to get his fitness back up. And I said, fair play to Ten Hag for throwing him in there. Maybe the Mason Mount injury meant that he had to play, but you can only take the chance when you get the chance. You know?
Yeah, I think what I like about what he does well, and I don't think he will get pinched against the better teams, because what I notice he always does, he makes sure he positions himself early. Every time he receives the ball, he's always seems like
He's already scanned.
Yeah, he scans and he always looks like he's got loads of time. You know what I mean? But it's because he makes sure he positions early, he scans early. That's all he does, and that's why he looks as good as he is. You know, other players like McTominay can't do that.
I mean, for me, my one concern with him is it was glaring to me that he went to right centre back in the highest parts of the Everton press. I think Kahinde that they understand that Mainoo doesn't have the experience to be able to deal. I think he will get pinched, and I think that's why he went. That's why he moved out of the centre and went to right back, basically in the build up.
But you could say that, you know. But I'm just saying. I know you're quite an expert on this position.
I'm not an expert.
Well, you know, I would say that you know a lot about that role.
Okay. Just one sec. Just have a look in that private chat for me, please, guys.
Is this about your pot noodle?
Just shut your mouth. I'll be back in a minute.
But half time. It's a specialist position, CDM, and you're quite particular about what you like CDM to do. and the type of CDM. I see him as a CDM for the first 3-4 years, and he might grow into an 8 box to box. It depends who he's playing with, but he's got the recovery to get himself out of trouble if he does. If you make a mistake, he's got that speed, the tenacity as well. So,
what player, Kahinde, like what sort of top midfielder would you like to that's realistic? Would you like to see like Mainoo develop into? Like, so I don't know, Gundogan, Rice, De Bruyne are three of
it's
the
hard
best.
to say if he's got that in his game yet, because Rice can play box to box. Rice has got that drive in his legs. He could do that. It's too early to say, but for me, like what Man United need within the next as a CDM that's gonna play for them for the next 10 years. That's what we need, because Casemiro is not going to do it. He's going to be gone maybe next season. Amrabat's definitely not good enough. And we don't have anyone like that at the moment. So maybe this guy could be molded into that type of player.
It's got to be De Jong, surely. Like, De Jong's got to be who, like, Ten Hag wants him to be. A second phase specialist who can defend and things, but he's mainly about sort of.
But I think the thing is, we need to have a right balance with someone playing alongside him who can keep the ball, got good ball retention, and can really, really
chip in with goals.
But it's got that passing range. Like Mount, I don't understand what's going on with him. Like, I know he's injured at the moment, but I don't know what Ten Hag's idea was for Mount when he brought him.
All right. Well, we're gonna go to the comments. I think now, and the first one I want to talk about this is shout out to Captain Bruno. Gave the penalty to Rash. What a leader. I didn't watch the game on Sky for various reasons, but I remember many years ago I was at Old Trafford and Diego Forlan had just signed for us and was in a massive goal spree, and he went to take a penalty. And he wasn't the penalty taker, and Keane took the ball off him and said, if you're going to score, you're going to score from open play. Van Nistelrooy takes the penalties.
Okay.
What do you think? What's right there? Like, is it right for Bruno to say, like, come on, Marcus, let's get your confidence up? Or is it right for Keano saying there's no free goals, you've got to earn everything if you play for United?
If this kicks on, if Rashford scores his next game and his next game and his next game, then it was a good move. If Rashford ends up not doing anything apart from scoring penalties that Bruno gives him, then it probably will be an issue. Let's see what happens in the next couple of games before. I'll wait before I make an assessment on that, to be fair.
I think that's pandering a little bit. You're using an utilitarian argument, but I think you're pandering a bit there. Bill Baggio saying, bath time, be happy, man. Clean sheet and 3 points. I am happy. DK Wilson, all the crap people talk about United not being able to win away from home was silenced today. People, stop complaining. We got Zoe. You can only beat what's put in front of you. That's what we've done. If fans can't be happy that Martial finally scored after a torrid injury season, then it proves fans are a real problem. That's something we've always said on this channel, that the real problem is the fans. Box, a good leader puts the ball in the net. Imagine if Rashford missed. Do you know what? Was anyone nervous for Rashford?
No, I knew he would score. I knew he would score. It didn't even cross my mind that he was going to score. I'm not going to tell you what side he was going to put it in, but I knew he was going to score the goal.
Yeah, I mean, he obviously hit that one in Paris, but he also missed in England's biggest game for 50 years. Like, I don't know. It was a really good penalty, though. Well, to be fair to Rashford, that was an extraordinary penalty. Bill Baggio is saying Maguire man of the match. Mainoo a close second. Thought Maguire was all right today.
Yeah, good game.
Yeah.
It's his game, physicality, not people running at him, pace and all that. So.
Well,
I quite enjoyed it when he started playing as a false 9 in the second half.
See, when he ran out and nobody would pass him. I thought Rashford, he made a run sort of inside, and I thought, Rashford, you have to play him in, and he
Oh.
held on to the ball. You know, just play him in. If me as a player who's run so deep, if my defender makes that run, even on Saturday football, you better play him the ball, because then he has to break his neck, and you lost the ball.
Yeah.
And then they broke on us, and then Mainoo had to be sitting at centre back. So he needs to use this a little bit more, to be fair.
And he didn't do that celebration either. But I agree with you. I wanted to talk about that when we get on to Rashford, because I threw something at the TV when he did that. Maguire forces that pass. You have to hit it to him. Even if you don't want to, you have to. Right, we got Brian Fosquet. He says, we need to build around Mainoo and Garnacho. Mainoo's ball down the line to Bruno was sublime. Couldn't agree more. That was a beautiful pass. Anthony Martial, man of the match from Zoe. Fernandez, man of the match. He pulled the strings, was a conductor of Carlos Kleber proportion.
He get a good assist. That ball to Rashford was class.
The ball to Martial.
Oh yeah.
But I think Box has had a wee little drinky and is trying to wind people up. Mainoo plays with so much calm for his player at his age. Definite man of the match. Bill, I can't believe it. You're saying good things about Maguire. You feeling okay, pal? Also, my comments about Garnacho looking weak, he's improved and looked much, much tougher today. And then, look, Box has definitely been on the drink. Mainoo did grow up with Winks posters, he stated. No joke. As if. And then Emma is saying, no matter how good Mainoo is, he will get beaten by better teams, as he's still basically a child and doesn't have adult strength. And then Zoe is saying, Joshua Kimmich is the type of CDM Mainoo needs. Whoever next is our number one midfield. I actually haven't seen a lot of Kimmich play. I mean, what sort of CDM is he?
He's very tidy, Kimmich, and he's good at pinching, and his position's really good. Everyone seems to think he's the best CDM in the world. He probably is.
What, better than Rodri?
Better than who?
Rodri.
Oh.
I mean, Rodri's probably the best
player
in the world.
I think Rodri, Rice, and Kimmich are like the top three. I don't want to say in any particular order. I think Rodri's probably the best at the moment, to be honest. Yeah.
Okay. All right, I think it's time for Rashford. Rashford is a strange player. Sometimes his ball striking is pure, clean as a whistle. Other times it's so poorly executed, it's almost amateurish. All right, Mr. B, you're well known as a lover of pot noodles and Marcus Rashford. Tell me about the Ginger Pele's performance today.
I think he plays better on the right at the moment. I think at least he doesn't run at 177 miles an hour on the right. He does look to slow down. I think it gives the team more balance having a right footer who's capable of going on the outside. I also think that Garnacho, after that goal, has nailed down his position on the left. So Marcus have to accept. I do. I really do. You know, if a player scores a goal like that playing from that position, he's got 3 games grace, as far as I'm concerned. You know, if he has a stinker in the next game, then so be it. It is what it is. But you can't have a talent like that on the pitch, or a talent in your maybe every player at Man United can do the overhead, but nobody's done it in a game. You know what I mean? So I think he's got carte blanche. So that means Rashford now is sitting on the right hand side. You know, we already know that Anthony is Ten Hag's favourite, but I'm glad that he's not playing Anthony. I'm glad that he's realised that playing Anthony will make him lose his bloody job.
Apparently, he was injured.
Oh, look, Ten Hag is a fucking liar. Sorry, Ten Hag lies a lot. Yeah, I think he lies more than Ollie, and he's a bare-faced liar, where he will say something and then the next week he's not ramping. So no, he's a bare-faced liar. He wasn't injured. He's been dropped. So the fact that, as I said, certain players now are playing. Look, I'm not a McTominay fan, but I have to be honest. McTominay's played himself into that team. He can't be dropped. Maguire, at the moment, can't be dropped. And that's what you have to do. You have to play players on form. That gives the team confidence to know that, shit, if I'm playing really, really well, I'm not going to get dropped. And these are the levels that the players need to step up to. So I'm glad. I'm glad that at the moment you see players are stepping up to the plate. Yes, we want to see a dominating 90 minutes. I don't think we've got that in our team at the moment, to be fair, Bath time. I really, really don't. And if it is, it's not going to be against the team that we would classify as top. Where are we? Six? Top six, top seven, top eight rivals. It's probably going to be against the Luton, who we played the other day and stank the place out. But we still got the win. I'm you know me, I'm a glass half full kind of guy. I'm hoping that when more players come back, we will then start finding our form, Maybe we won't. Maybe we'll be playing worse. But I look at where we are in the league, how bad we've been playing this season. And every time these teams above us keep drawing, said we're either losing or winning. We're not getting the 1 point. We're getting the 3 points or none. So it's helping us in the league. So, I'm optimistic as to what to come. Yes, the Galatasaray game, I am nervous, but for today, I want to enjoy today's victory. I want to sit down. I want to read all the press cuttings. I want to read about all the haters who thought that we were going to lose, and I want to read about Garnacho and Mainoo's performances today. The young guns, the future of Man United, played well today.
It's a lovely speech, but are you going to engage with the question?
No.
Which was about Rashford's performance today. All right,
Kehinde. You notice I waffled.
Kehinde, I want to ask you a question. I was disgusted with Rashford on defensive corners today. His job was to block Calvert-Lewin.
Twice.
Even Martial did a better job in defensive corners.
Yeah, right. Yeah. Also, like our midfield pressing structure, there's this thing, right, when you're doing a press in midfield, and when you get it right, it's so beautiful. It's like you feel like you're in a ballet or something, where everyone has to swap their man. When the ball gets played to the goalkeeper, everyone cuts across to go on their man. So, like, the left winger, who is marking the right back, will move on to the right midfielder and so on. Rashford didn't do it at any point during the game. He is such a defensive liability all over the pitch. Talk to me about those corners.
Well, I didn't notice it as much as you did, like those sort of details. But I'm just saying his general play, like what he's supposed to be doing, because that's not his. I'm saying not his job, but
it's 100%.
He's in the team to attack. He's in the team to help the attack, and his contribution today was not good. But then again, I have to disagree with Mr. B. Mr. B thinks Rashford's best position is on the right at the moment. I think he's saying that because when he's on the left, Rashford, he overdoes it sometimes.
Well, it's for the team, isn't it? Oh,
Sorry?
here he is. It's for the team, I think. You do, Mr. B, did you mean that Rashford's best position is on the right because it benefits the team the most?
Yeah, not him.
Okay.
But then
but what I'm saying is, like, when Rashford's on the left, he overdoes it because he could go in or out. But when he's on the right, he knows he could only go straight down. So that's making him a bit more effective.
Kehinde, did you not see that bit where he started like trying to do roulettes and stuff and then shouted at Delo?
Listen, I don't like Rashford. I'm not a fan of him. I think he hasn't made enough progress since he's broken into the team. I think he should have molded himself into a striker with all the pace that he's got. He doesn't seem to want to do it.
Lack of physical strength, though.
And just run off the shoulder as a striker. He should be doing what Martial does for us. And it wouldn't bother me if we sold him, because I just think it's like he's in the team because he's part of our youth. No, listen, I just don't see like what last season he was good, but he's not a consistent player. So he needs to get his act together. Like he needs to, because if I was picking the team, if everyone's on the form, I don't know if I would have him in the team. I'm not a huge fan of him because he's too inconsistent. He's too inconsistent.
Couldn't agree more, Kehinde. My issue with Rashford is that I understand that you have streaky players, right, who go and score lots of goals, 10 games, you won't get much out of them for 5 or 6 games, and I'm perfectly okay with that. That's happened in football for 150 years. But the problem I have with Rashford is that there's no contribution outside of goals, and when you look at the defensive stuff, it's appalling. What he did today at corners, like that, I think that Ten Hag is more likely to lose his job if he plays Rashford on the right than if he plays Anthony, because at least Anthony will do the defensive stuff,
Yes.
and he won't. And do you know what I mean, Mr. B? Come back at me because you don't like that, do you?
No. Listen, I'm. These are things that I'm going to watch in it. Today, I thought he tracked back. In the first half, I thought he tracked back quite a bit. I don't think he's a tackler per se, but these are things that I'm going to look at playing on the right-hand side. We used to see them on the right, and anything Rashford does, I'm happy with. Anything he does positive, but I will start looking at the naked and see that part of the game and see. I'm going to hold
a
up.
lack of effort. He looks lost a lot of the time.
Yeah,
like he knows he's meant to be doing something. And McTominay, if you watch McTominay and Rashford, I think one of the reasons Rashford's been moved to the right is because McTominay leads that midfield defensively. He's always the talker who's saying who should be where, who should be there. And I found it quite amusing that he was mainly talking to Rashford and not to Kobe Mainoo, who you thought would need to be managed throughout that game. But it was Delo and McTominay were trying to talk Rashford through everything. And maybe it's a failure of the coaches. Maybe like under Ollie, he could just do what he wanted, and he's starting from nothing. But from what I've seen with Ten Hag puts far too much responsibility on Rashford at corners. He's tried him as like the near post blocker a couple of times. He's tried him as the front man on the post, and today he gave him like Branthwaite or whatever he's called would just pushed Rashford out the way, and Calvert-Lewin ran through. It was amateurish. And I'm really disappointed, but happy with the result. Would you like some comments, or do you want to hear?
Yes, please. No, let's get on the comments. We've been hitting within an hour already, so yeah, we got to get them done.
Well, Paro Miguel Escobardo is saying "Viva Garnacho, fuego." Big T, the balance from Rashford being on the right is Garnacho being on the left.
Well, I'm just going to touch on that. I like Garnacho as a player. He's got a lot of potential, but still don't think he's a regular starter, because there's a lot of times in the game where he's not effective, and sometimes he's really more effective coming on in the last 20 minutes. So I don't think he's a starter yet.
Well, okay, who starts on the left then? Garnacho, Rashford, or Martial?
Pellistri maybe needs to get more of a look in on one of the wings. At the moment, but I'm just saying he's not. I wouldn't say like if I'm picking my best 11 that he starts all the time.
Yeah, but who is the left winger in your best 11?
Listen, there's so much questions in the team. Like does Ten Hag know his best team? Does he know his best
team? I'm asking you who you would pick as your first choice left winger. I don't care about Ten Hag.
When everyone's on top form.
Everyone's
on top form, Sancho.
Who?
Oh, go away.
Sancho.
Oh, Kohunde. Fuck off. Kohunde, don't.
When everyone's on top form, Sancho. Because
Kohunde, are you mad? You may as well say Ronaldo. Sancho is gone out of the club, bro. How can you talk about somebody who's not here? Mbappe then. Mbappe's our best central.
Rashford there. Everyone seems to think Rashford's the best on the left. I think he's too inconsistent.
Like Sancho's not even playing football. Like that is that the consistency?
It's traded.
This is normally I tell Mr. B off for swearing, but I'm with him. I nearly swore at you then.
Thank you.
I don't know. And another thing, I know I'm going a bit off topic here, but I don't know if you lot have been keeping up with Greenwood's form. I know you guys are not really fans of Anthony.
Did you see the ripper he scored yesterday?
And this is what I'm saying. He's playing in that position that Anthony is.
Yeah, I know, but it's not happening. It's
I'm not going to talk hypothetical things. I just wanted to see if you were up to date.
Yeah, I saw it.
Yeah.
I saw it.
I haven't seen it. I wasn't a huge fan of Greenwood as a football player. I thought he was too selfish, but he's levels above Anthony. I'll give you that.
Yeah. Thank you.
Right. Emma Kay, who previously said that Rashford needs to stop thinking, has said give Rashford a couple of games on the bench and make him think about it. So some mixed messaging there.
Yeah.
Big T, with Havertz's heroics this weekend, do we have to ask, did we buy the wrong Chelsea flop?
No.
I like Havertz.
I hate him.
Do you?
Yeah, he's crap.
No, I
left-footed,
think
though.
with Havertz, he's another guy. He's been played out of position a lot. I think he's
You know when Nagelsmann's played him?
everyone plays him up front, on the right, or in the midfield three.
I know
Number
where
10.
he played
He's got to
him.
be on the 10.
Nagelsmann played him the last German games at left back.
Played in left back, yeah.
Yeah.
Left back.
This is
It's
what I'm
happening,
saying.
Mr.
You can't
B.
get consistency out of player if you keep moving him around. If you play him as a 10, he would thrive. Just
I
A 10
think
or a
he's a
left back?
centre forward.
He's not a centre forward.
he's not a
He's
centre.
big enough.
He's
big
creative
enough.
enough to play the 10.
You
He's
drop him.
All right. Lol, Emma, his bench next game, well in the crowd, lol. This is talk about Rashford having a suspension against Galatasaray. United have been crap all season, but only 4 points behind the bin dippers. And then DK Wilson he's with you, Mr. B. Oh, Box, you're having an absolute stormer tonight. 5 wins in 6 games. Ten Hag Manager of the Month.
Well, what? Why not?
I agree. I think he will be Manager of the Month. We at the last 6 games, we got the most points in the Premier League. Emma Kate, nah, it's a team game. We do everything as a team. Is the B in Mr. B for Blobby then? Shall we call him Mr. Blobby going forwards? Bathstime to be Noel Edmonds. I'm delighted to announce that the B in Mr. B stands for Brexit. But you can mould yourself into a striker when you're being made into a winger. I sort of agree with both Kehinde and MOK here. Well, I think that Rashford should have looked at someone like Gareth Bale or Ronaldo and looked at their development from wide players to inside players to just goal machines.
Yeah.
And Rashford has whinged all his career about the position he plays in. What he wanted to be a striker for a bit, he wanted to be a right winger, he wanted to be a left winger. And the thing is I think he's got to decide if he's central or wide and build his body according to that, because he's not balanced enough to be a right winger. I know he's fast and stuff, but he doesn't have the upper body strength and he really lacks balance. I saw Saka against Arsenal body him repeatedly because Rashford's his chest was too far above the ball. But this is a bit of a downer. It's Solo saying good evening, everyone. Oh, look, we missed this. Sorry, Colm. He's been a member for 17 months.
Get in,
17
Colm.
happy months. You know it's bad when McTominay thinks you're a problem. Rashford is in even bigger trouble than we thought. And Rajiji has popped in. Say, good evening, peeps. What a game. Give Garnacho that number 7 top. I went for a 3-3 draw. And Big T is saying, we all have to agree Garnacho is worthy of the number 7. Give it to him now. I don't think he is.
No, not yet. You have to learn that.
Mount's got number 7, and he's just not. It's not the type of player you would give a number 7 to.
No one should have that shirt until they've earned it, in my view.
Exactly. I'm with Bath.
But Ronaldo coming back can have the number 7 shirt. I'm fine with that. But Cavani, I think he did earn it a little bit, but he should have had to have earned it. I mean, Lingard tried to wear it at one point. I think that shirt should just be like framed in the changing room, and no one has it until they put in a season where, like, you know, they deserve that shirt. And Garnacho, yes, he scored an incredible goal. But I much prefer 4 scrappy goals in the next 5 games than just that overhead. Like,
there we go.
Got to be that.
Yeah, I hear you. Look, guys, we've hit 104. We probably could have spoken for a few hours, which makes a change. We've come on here happy. We've come on here bubbly. And yeah, I think I'm feeling positive for the Galatasaray game. Maybe that'll change after I've had a sleep and the JDs and Coke has worn off that I was sipping throughout the game. But look, bath time, as always. Thank you very much.
My
Kahunde,
pleasure.
thank you for stepping in on such late notice. I'm sure we'll have a Monday back talking about singing Maguire's praises. Guys in the chat, as always, there was so much messages. We couldn't get through all of them, but we did see you and we did try to get you up on screen. So look, we will be back tomorrow at 9 o'clock. We're probably still going to be buzzing about today's game, to be fair. But look, it is what happens when you win a game 3-0. First time we've done it all season. So look, let's just enjoy the next 24 hours. Let's not be too negative and let's not dig out Marcus Rashford too much, Zoe. And we'll leave it at that. Guys, thanks for watching. I'm Kunde. Bless again. Bath time. I know you're going to be back with us tomorrow. We will see you all tomorrow.